Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Orange Bloods Live. I'm Jeff. He's Chad. Do us a solid. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, get notifications, jump into the Specs chat. We love Specs. And chat it up. Jump into the comments section. Basically, get buck wild if you want to. We're talking Texas football, injuries. We'll get our first injury report of the week later tonight when the SEC populates its injury rankings, Chad, or the injury reports for the first time this week. But report comes out yesterday first via Pete Nakos over at On3 that Michael Taft has a thumb injury and going to be out this week. It looks like it's a broken thumb. And there's no real timetable for this. Like this is kind of the word right now. Broken thumb, surgery, no timetable, not expected to be the rest of the season.
Okay. This sounds very familiar to another thumb story we were talking about recently, but of course this is not a quarterback. This is a defensive player, safety position. Like, we'll have to see how this plays out. Is this a wrap it up and play with a club on your hand, in a week or so? We'll see how is he listed tonight will be an interesting indicator. Do you just go ahead and say out, or are they going to go doubtful, which could tell us, maybe, right? We're gonna see how he is.
Oh, so let me ask you this. Losing Michael Taft this weekend. Let's just start there. I don't, because it is a thumb and he's a defensive player. You're right. It seems like one of those things that he could play this weekend. Yeah, we've seen guys just wrap it up and walk around with a big club on their hand. It is at that point difficult to tackle, wrap up, do some things that you would normally be able to do, catch the football kind of a thing.
Right. And you and I know as pro wrestling fans nowadays, as much as we're trying to punch the ball out, you can load that hand up, right? Give me a club. Maybe I can go punch a ball out a little better. Who knows?
So no Michael Taft on Saturday. What's that do to this Texas defense for you? We know that it's a secondary that's dripping wet and talent, that they've got young guys everywhere, but Michael Taft, preseason All-American, and one of the real captains on the field, whether he's a captain for the game or not, he's a leader on this team.
Yeah.
So him not being available in Starkville for you is what?
I think it's huge, and I'm going to learn the lesson from the Manny Muhammad situation, which I don't think enough of us did. I mean, even though you have talent, even though you are deep at certain positions, we have to respect stuff like this. I would tell every Texas fan alive right now, if you weren't already dialed into this game, if that dude doesn't play, you better dial in and don't expect your defense to be the same, because it won't be. They weren't the same without Manny Muhammad. It did not look the same against Florida. And coming out of it, we may have overreacted a little bit to some degree, but I think we need to respect this for what it is. Starter, like you said, the starter, the leader, middle of the defense, and everything that he does. To just assume that the next guy steps in and everything's cool, I think that's naive, because they're backups for a reason. So I think it is an impact. And now we got to see how much of an impact that it's going to be, but it's got to affect this defense.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's interesting. I'm kind of stuck between two places, Chad. I don't think it's as big of a deal as Manny Muhammad.
Okay.
I just don't. Like, quarterback's a more valuable position.
That's true.
And in that particular matchup against Florida when he was out, there just became a dynamic that nobody was really prepared for. It wasn't like, even if you knew Muhammad wasn't going to play in that game, it wasn't like, oh God, this is the wrong team. It was like a perfect storm. And that kid's going to be a first round draft pick one day, but like, he hasn't followed it up since the Texas game, obliterating people left and right. It kind of came together that way. I'm kind of interested to see who it is I think in this particular matchup, I'm trying to think. Let me see how I want to organize my thoughts. I think what you lose in Michael Taft is that he and Jelani McDonald, they're like the sweepers of the defense. And you really noticed it last week when Kentucky tried to get outside anyway trying to run the ball, especially with the quarterback. Every time that guy would make the decision, I'm going outside and I'm keeping, he'd make 2 or 3 yards, and here would come McDonald, here would come Taft, and that would end. That was it. And they don't miss tackles. And so they arrive quickly, they diagnose things fast, and then they don't make mistakes. And that's what you lose. So that's not insignificant. I don't know, it's a guy who replaces him who doesn't get to the ball quite as quickly, who doesn't find the diagnosis quite as quickly. It's not about athleticism. It's not about whether that guy that replaces him will one day be drafted higher in the NFL. It's right now, Michael Taft is at the peak of his powers. His ability to recognize, respond, get to the ball, instinctually, he's now gone through enough. So like what you're missing there is one of your best players. So it's significant, but it's not at a position like corner where if you're missing that guy, it can kill you. It can kill you at safety, and this is where this one's really interesting. Because I think where you worry about Taft and coverage, teams have a real hard time getting down the field on Texas. Mississippi State has maybe the best vertical receiving threat in the entire SEC on its offense on Saturday. You know who that is?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall his name. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
He played in Austin for a little while.
It's Brennan Thompson.
Brennan Thompson. I got to go back and look at what Cody's stat was. Cody, if you're in the chat, let us know. But from a depth of target standpoint, Brennan Thompson's like a superstar. And that will be interesting to see. I wouldn't have worried about that at all if Michael Taft were playing.
Right.
I would just assume Brennan Thompson's under control because as good as he might be and as talented and fast as he might be, McDonald and Taft, you really can't ask for a better pair of safeties at this level. Like they're excellent.
Right. And I'll take you to one play against Kentucky. That last the stop in overtime, both of them are involved in that tackle. Both of them. So if you tell me going in, hey, one of those guys has got to come off the field. Well, Taft did that part of the play, and then McDonald comes around the edge and grabbed his feet. If one of those doesn't happen, he might score. So
look, this is a massive opportunity for Xavier Filsaime, who probably gets his first start of his career.
No kidding.
Former 5-star, second-year player.
Yeah.
He's been, his problem is he's got Jelani McDonald and Michael Taft in front of him. Those guys just don't ever, they probably take Anthony Hill off the field more than they're taking those two guys off the field. As a matter of fact, out of curiosity, let me just look this up real quick. Let me find Alex's defensive snaps. I want to quantify this for you.
Yeah, so, you're probably right as much as we have looked at times and thought, wait a minute, why is Zero not in the game? That has happened.
There are 4 players on defense that have more than 300 snaps this season.
Okay.
Michael Taft leads the defense with 386.
That's massive.
He's on the field 85% of the time, but that number almost doesn't do it justice because he was on the field for every snap against Kentucky. He was on the field for 83% of the snaps against Oklahoma, 100% of the snaps against Florida, and 97.9% of the snaps against Ohio State.
Wow. Okay.
So Power 4 teams.
Yeah.
He's a 90% or more than anybody else. To give you an example, in those same games, Jelani McDonald was 96, 86, 89. Still a ton. But even Jelani McDonald, who I think is the best player on this defense, not named Colin Simmons, now that Colin Simmons has gone into absolute freak mode, I think McDonald's just been sensational. I think Jelani McDonald is so close to reaching the level where we go, oh, that guy's on the short list of the best safeties we've ever seen at Texas. He's not there yet, but there are 5 or 6 times a game where he makes a play, and I go, oh, Jesus Christ, man, that guy, those guys don't walk the earth in high populations. So I think he's a special talent. But you look at Phil Samey, 48 snaps this year.
Wow. Hey,
Michael Taft, 386.
Yeah.
Xavier Phil Samey, 48. And look, against Power 5 teams, he played 2% of the snaps last week against Kentucky, 17 against Oklahoma, and 18.75% against Florida, but 2% of the snaps against Ohio State. So
wow.
Kentucky, Ohio State really didn't play at all. Oklahoma and Florida got almost 20% of the snaps in those games. It's a massive increase in snaps. I guess, Derek Williams is kind of technically the backup behind McDonald.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, Catch. Colby brought this up. I was asking about if Phil Samey is healthy. He was in that report last week in some way, right?
Yes.
So we got to look for his name tonight, too.
Yes.
That is something, Colby, thanks for bringing that up. I think
if you were going to stay true to the depth chart, you know who's next after? And look, as a byproduct of this guy's going to play more on Saturday.
Jonah? Yeah. So Derek Williams and Jonah Williams may end up.
But Jonah Williams
with more
hasn't
snaps.
Played a defensive snap in the last 3 games.
Jonah or Derek?
Jonah.
Jonah hadn't. Okay.
Now, Derek has, it's funny. Derek Williams is probably a guy. I don't think Derek Williams and Jonah Williams as a tandem is a good tandem. I think that McDonald is like the super freak version of Derek Williams, which is why Derek Williams is his backup. And we've stopped talking about Derek Williams like he's the future of that position because he ain't Jelani McDonald. But I think if you paired McDonald with Derek Williams, I think you just had the same guy, but a lesser version of him paired with the better version of him. And I don't know, you're getting quite the coverage guy. I think Derek Williams is a better downhill safety, but Jonah Williams is a freak. He can do it all, but you really notice Jonah Williams when he's not making some circus play on the ball and coverage, him closing down on the run like a freaking missile. Derek Williams wishes he was as dynamic as Jelani McDonald. So I think that it's a real conundrum because the backup to Michael Taft was hurt last week and didn't play. And, Phil Samey was on the injury report, but he did play 2 snaps last week on defense.
Okay.
So, yes, on the injury report, but didn't miss the game. So, but it will be interesting to see how much he participates or what he's listed at on the injury report tonight. If he's listed at questionable, that's I think kind of a moment. Now, what's really interesting about the injury reports is, Chad, how much they've changed them from day to day. I've always thought they'll put something out on Wednesday and we might get something on Friday or Saturday, but we've seen them go questionable, then the very next day to doubtful, and then the very next day to out. And it's I thought to myself, I don't know that I anticipated that level of transparency with the injuries. So it will be interesting to kind of keep an eye on it. We know now, hey, don't sleep on the Thursday injury report. It is not automatically going to be just like the Wednesday injury report. Yeah. And if it's anything like last week's injury report, dudes are just going to start showing up out of nowhere.
Because these defensive guys, there's been a couple of examples. Phil Samey is an example of a guy that moved during a week. And by the way, our guy, Chris Bennett, was saying, I've heard different pronunciations. I just double-checked it, CB. Emphasis on the Phil, capital F-I-L, Philsamy.
Phil,
So,
I thought that was you.
I might have said Phil Samey or whatever. It Philsamy. You just let the rest of it run out, but hit the Phil hard. There you go. Use the Beverly Hills. I like that. That's going to help me remember it too. Phil, I knew that was you. Philsamy.
You changed, Phil.
You changed, Phil. Well, see, I love this catch. The fact that we're in this world of it's 4 different reports: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, and then 90 minutes before the game. They've got rules in place. They will fine you if you screw with this system. Like, they want them to treat it realistically. They want them to treat it right. And I think for the most part, teams are being honest. Like, they'll throw a big list of out guys up on Wednesday night. Go look tonight. It will be there. And when you put those guys as out on Wednesday, don't you try to work them back into the game on Saturday. That doesn't get done.
What are you expecting of CJ Baxter tonight? Is tonight the first time we see him as questionable?
I would hope so. I'll just guess and say it stays as doubtful. Although he did get a weird nickname out of nowhere this week. Did you catch the thing from Sark this week? Embedded in all the rest of it, when he was asked about running backs and injuries, he couldn't help himself. He called him C4. It was so great. It just goes back to that thing. Find yourself something you love in life as much as Sark loves CJ Baxter. So maybe the fact that he said, yeah, C4, he's been in practice a little more. We are hopeful. Maybe that does get him up to the questionable coin flip 50-50 spot.
I'm fast. Look, let me ask you a question. Because we've now run through, I think different people are going to have different philosophies on this. As a matter of fact, this is the question I want to pose both for the Specs chat.
Okay. Hey, and Lindy, I see the super chat. We'll get to it.
We will, I promise. In fact, we'll pay some bills and then after we do this, and then we'll come back straight to your super chat. But what I want to hear, there's probably like a philosophical decision about, in this game, the most experienced option, even though he's mostly, all season long been the backup to McDonald, is Derek Williams has played twice as many snaps as Philsamy has played. Phil! But again, the thing I'm worried about is I don't think you've got enough. I don't know if you have enough of a secondary coverage ace. The thing that I love about Michael Taft is I know he's going to be in the right place at the right time to be down the field, making sure they're not giving up long touchdowns. That's not who Derek Williams is. So would you play the older guy who probably feels safer, but probably isn't quite the right fit? Might even be a little bit of a square hole or square peg round hole. Or if Philsamy is available, do you just play the guy who's the backup to Taft, who's a former 5-star, hasn't played a ton of snaps, but this is what you've been telling him behind the scenes. You never know when your opportunity is going to come. And then when it does, you have to be ready, and maybe you never give it up, right? Like that's what you tell these guys behind the scenes. So what I want to know is, who are you playing? Are you playing Taft? Are you playing Derek Williams to pair with McDonald? Or are you playing, if Philsamy's a full go, would you go with Philsamy?
I mean, I think obviously you let practice determine it. And is he able to go? I would think it's Philsamy if he can go. People in the chat are, keep talking about him being hurt, and why are we even talking about him? Because he's hurt. We're going to find out. This injury report is big in the next couple of days to see where he is, because he's been progressing. And heck, Derek Williams has been obviously in the injury, injury
Tennessee
side.
Longhorn, we know they're both going to play. The question is, who's A and who's B?
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's got to start. So
and look, I've seen a few people say, like Money B says, well, McDonald will be used to play field safety. Okay, but again, it comes down to, so you're putting him on the field potentially with Derek Williams. I don't care if you're moving McDonald as the one that moves over. you're still, I think, a bit redundant. And, is that the best place to have McDonald? Maybe in the end, that's his best position, only because Michael Taft is even on the roster and available. They haven't yet done that. I'm just saying, all of this is new. They're going to have to lean on somebody on Saturday in a spot. If you're playing Oklahoma, you're not worried about them going vertical on you. And you're not worried about Michael Taft not being in the right place. This is a game where if Mississippi State's going to have success, I think it's down the field vertically if they can give their quarterback time. And will Texas be as secure on the back end? And who do they trust and give the faith to? Because I really don't know the answer. I would play philosophy. Because you know why? I just think Derek Williams is just a guy. I have never. Now, to be fair, before the injury last year, Derek Williams started to take. He was pretty good before the injury. He wasn't great. He wasn't a guy that we'd be talking about as like an all SEC player, but he was better than he was as a freshman. But he's coming off the major injury. At no point this season have I watched Derek Williams and thought, you know what? They got to start playing him more. It's just never occurred to me once. In fact,
right.
I'm usually thinking, play somebody else. Like I never was captain of the Derek Williams fan brigade. And look, when Derek Williams came to Austin, I think it was Michael Griffin that said on the Longhorn Network, like around recruiting signing day, it was one of those former badass NFL safeties that probably won a national championship and was like, this guy's going to play in the NFL. He's our next great safety. I mean, people heard that and just kind of followed Derek Williams. He was not a 5-star. He was like a high 4-star. He was pretty good as a freshman, but not anything to like really write home about. Showed improvement, but now he's coming off of a major injury and it just hasn't been, if you look at Alex Dunlap's tiers of performance for Texas, he's got a tier 1, and you know what? This might spell it out as much as anything. Tier 1 from the defensive productivity market share. Tier 1 is Jelani McDonald and Anthony Hill. Tier 2 is Michael Taft, Colin Simmons, Malik Muhammad. And to be fair, Colin Simmons moving on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Tier 3. This is important because there's a lot of guys on tier 3, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trey Moore, Jalen Gilbo, Anthony Smith. These are all in order, by the way. Grayson Littleton, Hero Canoe, Leona Galafau, Ethan Burke, Cole Brevard, Murad Watson, Brad Spence, Lance Jackson. We're playing a little bit of a game here, Chad. What has stood out to you thus far?
I did not hear a lot of DBs in that last section.
Okay. Now, these are sub-replacement players. So this is not like these are the guys playing the fewest amount of snaps. These are the guys who have the least amount of productivity per snap basis. So even if, they could be higher up. You could play 10 snaps and be in tier 1. You just got to make sure you make a couple of big-ass plays on those 10 snaps. You know what I mean?
Right.
So here is, and Alex calls this sub-replacement level.
Okay.
It's not a compliment.
It is what it is.
Alex January.
Yeah.
Travis Shaw. Zena Yamuzalo. Again, this is all in order.
Yeah.
Cade Phillips.
There's okay. All right.
Warren Roberson.
All right.
Now, hold on. Let me just count this up. Now, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I've gone through 21 names.
Jeez. Is Roberson a corner or a safety, by the way?
Corner, nickel.
I'm waiting for a safety. Go ahead.
Derek Williams.
There it is.
He's number 22 on the list where he makes productivity once every 14.85 snaps.
Wow.
Whereas Michael Taft is like that in half. He's snaps per productivity is half that.
Once every 6 or 7.
When you get to our guy, Xavier Philsamey, he's a couple of spots behind Derek Williams, and where Derek Williams is a production 1 every 14.85 snaps, Philsamey is 14.41.
Wow. Okay.
So they're both among the worst. If you're looking at players who play,
and these are the guys you're going to ask to step up this week. One of them, maybe both overall, but you're going to ask one of those guys to go out there early on, middle of the day, cowbells ringing, Blake Shapen trying to spread you out and hit Brennan Thompson. One of those guys has to go out there.
And again, one of the reasons why I was saying I haven't had a real urge to have Derek Williams on the field at all is because of that very thing. He's just not being very productive. But Xavier Philsamey, with roughly half the snaps, is kind of the same. The thing is, Philsamey's got the upside. Philsamey, sorry. Phil! He's the guy that I would go with because I don't think Derek Williams' experience is so valuable that it makes up for the fact that he doesn't make plays.
Yeah, you did say Littleton's name, right? Somebody asked where Littleton was.
Littleton's way back up there it's on the tier 3. It's more Gilbo, Smith, and Littleton.
There it is. Yeah, he's in that first group, Tennessee Longhorn. All right, we'll get to that super chat coming up. Also, as Ketch mentioned, we got some great partners to thank as we roll through. Let me start today with Sinus and Snoring Specialist because I had a great day today when it comes to peace of mind and Sinus and Snoring Specialist. I had the dental device that I wear every night when I sleep checked today. Did the yearly check, make sure everything's good. That was the last step in the process that I started at Sinus and Snoring Specialist, did sleep tests and all this kind of stuff to figure out what was going on with me. I had moderate obstructed sleep apnea. I was snoring. Things were not going well. I wasn't rested, all that kind of stuff. Plus, I had allergy issues and some sinus stuff. They dealt with all of it. They got rid of my allergies for good. They dealt with the snoring and the sleep apnea. I have not worried about how I sleep since 2017. It's a huge bit of peace of mind. Today was just an added reminder that, yep, everything's rolling just fine. They can get you to that point as well. 601-0303. Call them or securely text them on that number or go to sinussnoringent.com. Check out some of the videos and explanations they have on all the things they can do for you. Feel clear, rested, and healthy with Sinus and Snoring Specialists. Tell them you heard about it here on OB Live.
Hey, I know we're gonna go to the super chats, but I gotta put this one up there real quick. Hold on. We got Tej, who's like Brennan Thompson is mid. Have you looked at Brennan Thompson's stats for this season?
I actually just pulled them up. Yeah, Brennan Thompson is averaging 18 a catch.
Brennan Thompson has got 29 catches, which I'm pretty sure would lead the Longhorns for 533 yards, which is significantly more than any player on the Texas roster, with 4 touchdowns. Like,
they want to score, man. They want to do it.
If he's mid, then Texas doesn't have any mid receivers on its team.
Yeah. And you can tell when you watch them play, they absolutely love to get him involved. He doesn't lead them in catches. I believe it's Evans that does that. Is that his name? Evans? Do I have that right? Yes, Anthony Evans has got 42 catches. But for big plays, for big moments, they love to go to Brennan Thompson.
18 and a half per catch.
Dude.
I don't think people realize how big of a number that is, but that has to be top 5 in the SEC.
Yeah, if you got 18 a catch 3 games in, I'll give you some love for it. We're 7 games into the season.
That you are a vertical threat when you're averaging 18 plus a reception. Because, I got to go look it up. Like DeAndre Moore has been at like 10. The Texas receiving unit. Now, Littleton is at like 15, 16. But, 18 a catch. Careful about what we say about Mr. Brennan Thompson before the game.
Yeah, right.
Let's get to the post-game show and Texas wins this game, and then we can call Brennan Thompson mid, but careful is what I would say.
So, Ketch, here's the comp. You are correct. No Texas player has caught 29 balls. It was 29, right?
Yeah.
No Texas player has 29. And Parker Livingston is a 20.5 a catch guy.
Yes. Okay. It's even higher than I thought.
Washington on his 6 catches is at 17. But yeah, in terms of
Where's
just
Wingo?
13.3.
Where's DeAndre Moore?
13.9.
Yeah. That just gives, I mean,
Yeah.
that will give you some perspective. It also will let you know that when Parker Livingston has caught passes this year, he's been a big play weapon. You know, the problem with Parker, I'll tell you what, let's do the super chats.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask you a question of whether or not there's a problem with Parker Livingston.
Okay. Let's get this one. Lynn, thank you so much for the 19.99 super chat. Question for Sark. Does he regret misleading the public about how poor the offense was looking in the spring? I would love to hear how he answers. Also, regarding bad player evals, 5 to 6 top 2024 NFL picks were not high school recruited by Sark. Be an interesting way to ask that question. Is there a respectful way to ask Sark, why didn't you tell us you were worried about your offense in the spring?
Look, it's funny. Remember the person in Nashville that I was telling you about, the divorce situation?
Yes.
Well, husband sends wife a list of demands.
Oh, geez.
Long list of demands, right? The wife took the thing and spit it into Chat GTP and basically said, reword this so it doesn't sound like you're an asshole. And then Chat GTP whipped up the same thing, but made it really, really nice.
Okay.
What the reason why Anwar Richardson is, there's a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons why Anwar Richardson is a pro's pro is that he asked the most sensitive question at the press conference on Saturday, but he did it in a completely disarming way that wasn't insulting. Mm-hmm. So what Lindy's got to do is take that question, throw it into like Chat GTP, and say, how do you ask that question so it's not insulting? Because you don't use the word misleading. Yeah,
you don't even need Chat GP. Just put it into Chat Drunk Unk. He will tell you exactly how to ask the question.
And essentially what you say is you find a nice way to say, Sark, it seemed like in the spring you really felt confident about the direction in this offense. In the months that have passed since then, what hasn't happened that has paid off on what you thought existed with this group in the spring? There's just, you got to pretend like Sarkisian's a woman at the bar and you're trying to get her phone number. And you got to be not an asshole. Like, it's not going to work. So I just think that the way this thing gets answered is you've just got to phrase it. And the thing is, I wish more reporters in this market did what Anwar did, which is like, look, what do I got to ask? Now, how do I ask that in a way that he will answer the question instead of giving me the middle finger?
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah. It could even be as simple as just, talk about your feelings of the offense based on what you're seeing now. Talk about your feelings on the offense in the spring. Does it match what you're seeing now?
Yeah. How different is what the offense you're seeing now from what you thought you were going to see from it in the spring?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Because as we've said plenty of times, Lindy, thank you for the super chat. I always loved Catch. We talked about it in the Mac Brown era. You got some truth out of him. Sometimes it was 8 months later, 10 months later, the next season. But if you listen carefully, there's some honesty that'll pop out and you go, oh, wait, what? And Sark's done that a little bit. So I wonder if at some point we're going to get that honesty out of Sark. All right, we got a couple. We had one other super chat we will hit. Let's remind you about the watch party. Catch is coming to town this week. This guy right here coming to town for TCH, Social, Austin. The specials are active and ready to go. $2 draft, $3 jellyfish, $4 Fanatic cocktail. The wings are getting more and more popular with people. The salmon, the pasta, the meatloaf, the chicken sandwich, the burgers, all-day breakfast. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And that biggest video wall doesn't hurt either. Come on out and see us. Also, remember, if you want to play online poker, Texas Card House has Hijack Poker. Go to hijackpoker.com. Got to be in the state of Texas. That's it. And be ready to play and have a device to put it on. There's your QR code. Make sure you get that $20 bonus when you sign up. And come see us at TCH Social Austin, Texas Card House. You see the logo every day. We're going to be at 183 and Anderson Mill once again. Let's sneak in this other super chat real quick. Craig just wants to know, simply catch, do Simmons and Hill return next year?
Well, not Anthony Hill, but Colin Simmons only has played. This is only his second season, so he has to come back.
There you go. Simmons has to. Hill, he's done, right? This is it.
I mean, I think disastrous would have to happen in order. Like bad injury would, I think, have to happen in order for Anthony Hill to return next year.
Speaking of injuries, back to this one. Michael throws in this question on offense. You heard anything about Cole Hudson at this point? That's another name, obviously, we'll look for tonight on the report.
Michael, I'll be completely honest. Usually Wednesday, I tend to let people have their piece on Tuesday. I know that that's like the big practice, so I usually reach out to people on Wednesday to get a vibe on who participated in the big practice. I've been so swamped today in meetings. I've just had meetings all day. I'll be making those phone calls when this show's over. I'll start like reaching out. Probably got a real good idea of where Cole Hudson is. And, my gut tells me that he doesn't play this week.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, thank you, Michael, for the question. Honestly, just kind of trying to wrap my brain around all this, Catch. Tonight, the first thing to look for, like if Michael Taft is listed as out tonight, that resets everything for the week. But what if he is questionable? What if they're going to try? Like if they give us a sense that they'll try, I think that does change the way you think about this week. Because to me, Taft with a club on his hand feels better than the other options right now.
I totally agree with you.
So
if they cut his arm off,
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
I would play.
I don't know if we go that far.
I would play Michael Taft as the guy from The Fugitive.
Yeah, but we love to romanticize backups. I don't know why we do it. We do it in all sports, but we love to talk about, oh my God, the talent. I watched that guy in high school. Fine, but he was the backup for a reason. You laid out those snaps. And you laid out Alex's tiers of players and how many snaps they're getting and how much production they're creating. You're going to ask one of those guys to go out there early and deal with whatever Mississippi State has got. This is a game where without freaking out too much, Catch, if I'm Sark, I make sure to present to my offense, hey, one of our captains, if he can't go, hey, one of our captains can't play. Fellas, I need you to step up. You saw what happened last time we lost a starter on defense. We needed points that we couldn't get. Y'all better be ready to score.
Let's not act like with two hands Michael Taft is scooping up fumbles anyway.
See? Why did that? Man.
I mean, you're not losing that aspect of the game.
I cannot believe. You know what? If he does play with a club, he is so going to scoop and score. And you're going to have to tweet about it.
I want you, Ryan Niblett tweet.
That's right. You're going to have to do the afterwards tweet off a scoop and score at some point for
what did I even say? Tap. What Orange Blood said? Why would you say that out loud, Catch? What did I say?
I believe the wait. It was what was it you just said? It was some injury thing you just said. I'm assuming is what they were referencing.
I didn't feel like I said anything.
Orange Bloods, what was it? Orange Blood 1.
Jared's like, Ant Hill needs to work on it. They all need to work on their scooping skills.
Yeah.
All of them. It needs to be a theme in practice. We recover fumbles this week.
Yeah. On one hand, I was with you, and I thought it was a little cheap of Sark to mention that in the post game. But on the other hand, there were a lot of them Like when you count through them, it's like, wait a second. There were 4 different fumbles and 2 different muffed punts. Yeah. And you got how many? None. Well, damn. Like it happened. Like I felt so bad for all of them, but I think I felt the worst for Travis Shaw. That big bastard damn near cracked something in his back trying to get to that ball, and he couldn't get there. I felt that big truck trying to go down and cover that thing. I so wish I could have gotten that for him because it was such a great effort. And then he ends up laid out, and it's like, oh my God.
I am not mad at Travis Shaw.
No.
He tried to fall on the fumble.
I'd still be laying down there if I tried that at my age.
I have been most frustrated by guys who either aren't trying to fall on the ball or just have run by the ball.
Yep.
By the way, someone was like, hey, whoa. Here's what I will not stand for.
Oh, how dare you.
I'm literally the reason, along with Michelle, that Texas is on a 2-game win streak. And when they win this weekend, I will be the reason for that as well. Enchiladas, people. Enchiladas.
Yeah.
Like how soon we forget.
That's just rude. That is so rude. Hang on. I got a reminder coming. There it is. Come on, people. I mean, seriously.
Come on. The things I do. And by the way, it's not my jinx skills that are superpowers. It's my reverse jinx skills.
That's an art form.
The ability to say something and then within minutes create the opposite to occur. For instance, man, Ryan Niblett is not doing a good job on punt returns. Now might be the moment to take his ass out of the field. What happens? Punt return for a touchdown. What happens? Suddenly first team all SEC punt return 8 days later.
Yep. Punt return touchdown. Punt return creates a 5-yard drive. Punt return creates a field goal later.
Mason Shipley. What did I say about the OU game? Not good enough. Yeah. What did he do? Next week, made them all. Just kicking them all in.
Only misses are 55 and 56.
What did I say on Saturday? Sark, you needed to take all the blame tonight. Quit talking about your players, even if they should have fallen on some fumbles. What happened? I reversed it. He showed up on Monday and said everything I said he should have said.
So, Catch, we've got a lot of fans in the chat then saying if you could figure out some kind of a reverse jinx that involves like passes being caught and a run game, they'd really appreciate it.
I tell you what. Leave in the comments section. I'll go back and look at this later.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to reverse jinx? I will take 2 or 3 of the best reverse jinx ideas. I'll do my best. It's not 100%. You know, I feel like one of these great sorcerers that doesn't really know his powers. But you can ask anybody in fantasy football that ever played in a league with me. The moment that I would declare that the game was over and that I had lost, everyone knew that I was going to come back and win. And so what they started to do in the fantasy football league was like, as soon as the noon games would start, whoever was playing me would go post on the league message board, game's over.
Okay. So here's it.
My powers are so infamously known.
Okay. Look, I figured it out now. If we're going to have the man's discussion, let's have a man's discussion. Are you willing to use your reverse jinx powers when it comes to the quarterback and this offense? For instance, are you willing to throw out a tweet that involves the word Caldwell if something doesn't look good for 16?
No. See, that's the thing. I have to believe it.
You have to actually believe.
I can't just sell my comments.
What part of this offense could you focus in on? Is it Wingo? Is it a running? Is it Wisner? You've been talking about Wisner not having back-to-back good games.
Do you know what the lucky rabbit's foot is?
What is it?
I'll go on to Twitter when the show's over and declare that Nick Brooks is absolutely unplayable and that for his own protection, he should not play in this game.
And 71's going to turn into Larry Allen.
For a day.
One day, that's all we're asking for.
For a day.
The catch double jinx. I do love it. Do love it. Thank you,
mean,
guys.
Look, I don't understand the powers, but I do not discount them. You have no idea how many times I have gone out of my way to like affect outcomes of sporting contests by doing exactly this. And then people will show up in my Twitter feed and they'll be like, way to go, Catch. You're a total idiot. And I'm just like, you think what you want to think, but I have accomplished what it is that I was looking to accomplish.
And for the record, Catch and Michelle have planned to have enchiladas each week until Texas loses. That's their promise to all of you. That's going to happen.
Take no chances.
No chances are being taken
in fact,
all.
I know where the next thing, or a couple of people on Orange Bloods have said, go get the Papacitos enchiladas.
I'm a little surprised that you haven't had those before because I know you've been to Papacitos plenty. The fact that you've never had that's got to be a pretty high level enchilada. I don't think I've ever had theirs.
I love the fajitas at Papacitos. So I'll probably order fajitas.
Different level.
Take a couple of bites off the enchiladas and
it really is a sacrifice for you. I love the fact that you're willing to do this for the people. He is willing to fight for you, people. All right. As I mentioned earlier, yes. Although, I mean, that's asking a lot. That would be asking a lot.
Here's the thing, Cody. Here's the thing. Jerry made a deal with Satan.
Uh-oh.
You've heard this. You heard me expand on this before.
I've heard this theory plenty of times, and I've never been able to fully refute it.
Jerry has the breakup with Jimmy. They left this out of the Netflix documentary. They have the breakup.
Episode 9.
And Jimmy insults Jerry, and Jerry comes away with that thinking, I'll give up anything if I can win a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson. At which point, Satan popped up, just like in, what was the movie with Bedazzled?
Oh.
And it was just like that.
If
Hot
that
woman was the devil.
Well, if anybody's devil is going to be a hot woman devil, Jerry Jones is that guy.
Hot woman devil with a bottle of Johnny Walker. And she said, look, you want that third Super Bowl? You want a Super Bowl with Barry? You can have it. Sign the contract. I'll make it happen. Jerry, looking at those tatas, drinking that Johnny Walker, mad at Jimmy. He signed it without even looking. In the fine print of the contract, it stipulates that for the rest of history, Satan will constantly go out of his way to make Cowboy losses as horrific as humanly possible. So when you're watching a Cowboys game, and this happens 3 or 4 times a season, and they lose in a way that literally would put a Cowboys fan on stroke alert, and then they try to intellectualize it, and they come away saying things like, I've never seen an NFL team lose a game like that before. Jerry sold his soul. All of my jinx powers reverse jinx powers in the world, they can't overcome a soul contract with the devil. So, Cody, you're right. It doesn't work for the Cowboys, but not my fault. If Jerry had just been patient and allowed me to grow up, I could use my skills for the Cowboys for the greater good. Nope. I'd be no way Dak Prescott makes All-Pro this year. It's time for them to. I'd be wilding out there on those streets talking about the Cowboys being terrible. Jerry messed it up for everybody, Cody.
Damn.
Messed it up for everybody. But hey, least he got his third Super Bowl win with Barry Switzer.
Cody, you now have your answer. Now you have your answer. All
I
right.
had not gone off on Jerry in a while.
You had not.
Thank you, Cody. I needed that. That was cathartic is what that was.
Thank you so much, Cody. Now you've made me want to talk about drinking. We're going out to the Deep Eddy Vodka tasting room on November 21st. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Cowboys reasons for me to drink that day. We're going to do the live show. We're going to do Q&A until 3 o'clock. Come on out. Meet Jeff Ketchum if you never have, or see Ketch again if you've met him and want to come out. Last time we were out there, we met a lot of cool folks from the Dripping Springs area that said, hey, you guys going to come back? Yes, we're coming back. November 21st.
Remember all the hot chicks that were out there?
There were beautiful women out there. There was all kinds of great folks. Circle your calendar. November 21st, before those last two big home games show up for Texas, we're going to be out at the Deep Eddy Vodka tasting room. Also, there's something going on out at Deep Eddy. I can't tell you now, but trust me, when I can tell you, I'm going to tell you. It's coming up. They've told me I can't say anything, but when I can, you're going to love it. You'll also love the chance to go to Specs and get all stocked up. Here you go.
When the savings are this good, the whole world takes notice.
Yes, indeed. Halloween prep going on. Get to Specs. Shout out to them for bringing us the Specs chat each and every day. The show has an injury kind of feel to it today because of the Michael Taft situation, thumb surgery, and we'll see what that looks like tonight on the injury report. We hit a lot of names there, Catch. What else is on your mind today when it comes to this football team?
Nothing. Not really. Like today, it really is about the trickle-down effect of – because we're not looking at a Texas team that can lose an All-American and has been playing at such a high level where, well, they just won't skip a beat. It's a Texas football team that probably doesn't win last week in Lexington without Michael Taft.
Right. I was gonna say, just go back to that last play. Take one of them out. Think about how many guys were involved in that play. Taft was in on it. McDonald was in on it. Spence was in on it. I think LaFau was in on it. It was like
there were
8
guys. Like they all got in on it.
I mean, it felt like everybody on that defense was a part of that tackle.
It wasn't Travis Shaw the one that first made the penetration through the hole.
And Shaw, I think you're right. I think Shaw got in there too. If you took one of those guys out, I think he scores and I think Texas loses.
Can I ask you a question? And I know you're biased because this involves the Aggies.
Okay.
What was the better goal line stand?
What was the better goal line?
Last year against the Aggies.
Okay.
Or this year, because it's the Aggie game is a bigger, more important deal, right? I mean, there will be Texas fans that will literally remember that goal line stand, and it was Ethan Burke that made the play.
From this,
remember that for a long time because that game had suddenly become very loose in their control up until it was 17-7, and A&M's got a chance to make it 17-14 with a lot of time left, if I'm not mistaken, fourth quarter, but it was about to be on. And then that was a big goal line stand. Was that a bigger goal line stand on Saturday?
I think so. I would split it up in terms of the importance of the game. Obviously, you go to the Aggie game, but in terms of the way the game felt, I'm going to say this was a bigger goal line stand because this opponent deserved to win. And that's not what the Aggies were that night. So I'm not going into all of my pent up reasoning for that, but you know what it is. Like A&M didn't deserve to win the game. Kentucky did. So I think that stand at that moment because you
lose if they score, and if A&M scores the touchdown, you're still ahead.
Exactly right. You still would lead the game. I would, you're still feeling a certain way. We all know that if you put that Texas defense offense back out there, down 7, they're not tying it up.
Yeah.
They're just not. It wouldn't have felt like that. So I think this one was bigger because it just had some desperation to it that the Aggie game did not have. That other team, we all know it deep down, they played well enough to get it done, and Texas just made a couple plays and swung it the other way. So I'd go with this one. And that's where I'll give Michael Taft a little bit of love for what he did in the post game. I get what he was trying to do. It's just that on this team, you're not going to get credit for beating that Kentucky team. But that was a hell of a moment. Like, I give him that part. It was a hell of a stand, because I didn't think they were going to do it. When they got down there to the 2-3, I thought it was done. I thought it was over.
And look, they did what great defenses do, man. They just stopped. The thing about great defenses, they can literally no more. It's like that scene in Remember the Titans where it's like, I don't want to see them gain another yard.
I get emotional every time he says it. My daughter makes fun of me every time, but every time I see that move, I don't want them to gain another yard. I just get emotional every time. Go, Coach Yost. You tell him. I love it.
And look, that is the thing. Like, it's a weird, it really is like a superpower. It's like, okay, well, now we're done dicking around. These dudes don't gain another yard. Well, it's like, well, they get 4 chances at it. I don't care if they have 8 chances at it. Not getting another yard. Yeah. And it's what Ohio State did at Texas last year. Right, exactly. It was like, you guys can run 50 plays from the 1. We've decided y'all are not getting in. And you know what? Sark didn't. You could have given Sark 50 snaps. He might not have had a play that was going to work there. We're not going to relitigate that. But no, Chad, I'm just looking at this game, and I'm just wondering how much fine margin does Texas have in this game? And does an injury, like if Taft's out, Hudson's out, just those 2 things. If they're down their starting center and they're down their All-America safety on the back end, right? Can they overcome that? And I don't know. Like, I think Mississippi State, Mississippi State goes into this game, I think, knowing if we don't win this game, probably going to go winless in conference play. This is it. This is our chance to have a moment. They're very much old school McCallum Knights. I can remember when I was a junior, we lost 42-0 to Reagan. We lost 48-0 to Travis. I told you that story. We played LBJ and Sean Mitchell. Yep. And we played the game of our lives. Very Kentucky-ish. We should have won the game. We lost the game because Sean Mitchell took a punt return 92 yards and hurdled a guy on the sideline, and they beat us 13-12. Because Sean Mitchelled. And like sometimes that happens. But I think Mississippi State's going to channel their inner 1993 McCallum Knights. Yeah, they're going to look at this and go, we are tired of getting our asses kicked. We're tired of losing. We're tired of the disappointment. One time, we can beat this team. We can do this. It's what Kentucky almost pulled off last week.
There is one more game I see on their schedule they could win. They go to Arkansas next week. But to your point, this is the last home game because they host Georgia and they host Ole Miss. And then they go to Missouri as their other game. In terms of home contests, like they're going to dial everything up. The only thing that can make it that part worse is if this was a night game. But they're going to tailgate to this thing. They're going to get fired up about this thing. You'll see upside down Longhorns all over the place. And obviously the cowbells and the whole thing. Yeah, they're going to set this up. And those 2 injuries together, if they're both out, Hudson and Taft, like, would you give Mississippi State a touchdown off of those 2? Does it change the game +7 for Mississippi State?
I don't know.
I don't either. I'm wondering if my pick, I think, is I'm picking around 10 or 11 point margins to this game. Would it need to go down to, I don't know, 4 or 5? Just survive it?
I mean, you know me, last week, I was very much just get out of Lexington with a W. Yeah. I wasn't expecting style points. I don't know that I'm done kind of expecting style points. They've played 3 games on the road this year. 2 of them were really ugly. 3 of them were ugly offensively, really. They're 1-2 on. Like,
that's true.
If we learned anything last week, don't take this team for granted on the road.
Because the true roadies are Ohio State, Florida,
Kentucky,
and Kentucky. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, because the neutral has got to be a slightly separate issue. True road game. Offense has not clicked at all. Not at all. But Hasn't clicked.
Chad, thank you. I will tweet that out. It's been a while since I've reminded the world. Thank you, Chad.
Chad,
Matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now.
Appreciate that. And there may or may not be a reminder of similar things in the Scottish guy this week. I've heard. Just a rumor. Blake with a $4.99er. What's the best ugly win in the last 30 years? I'm going Kansas in 04, 4th and freaking 19.
Blake, I'm going to let this end the show.
That was something. Now that's an ugly win, but what a performance.
Hold on. Let me make sure I get the year of this game. This one is this is a little more than 30 years ago.
Okay.
But Texas had a game. I want to say it was in 91. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me just
Blake, I like yours. I like yours because the people do forget about that PI call that Mangino wanted, and he starts screaming on the sideline and everything. It took a lot for that 04 thing to happen. The Vince thing twice. The Vince scramble you're talking about, and then the crazy good pass to Tony Jeffrey. Oh, man.
Texas played a game against North Texas in 88. And Texas ends up winning the game 27-24 over North Texas.
I remember this. Yeah, I remember this one.
But there was an incredibly controversial officiating call where, if I remember correctly, they gave Texas a touchdown.
Yeah, it was like someone was clearly out of bounds, but they called it a touchdown, something like that.
5 yards.
Like it was brutal.
Like it was so brutal that 37 years later, you're asking me this question. And it's the thing that came to mind. They played North Texas and literally got played off their feet at home. And Brian Davis played, our guy Brian Jones played in this game.
Yeah, I guess he would have, right?
88?
88.
No. This is the year he sat out.
You're right. Brian was 89 and 90.
So if we ask him this tomorrow, hey, Brian, how bad was that North Texas game in 88? You know what I think he would say? I don't remember that motherfucker. I wasn't playing in that game.
He'll say, I was high on the sidelines. That's what he'll say.
Don't ask me them questions.
By the way, we are set for Brian Jones, CBS Sports, tomorrow, 30 minutes into the show.
Brian would let you know he never beat North Texas by 3 points.
No, he never, ever did that.
That never happened on his watch.
No, it did not. It did not happen. Blake, thank you for that super chat. Catch, you about ready to wrap?
I am.
Tell you what, let's wrap up, and we will do. I haven't done this before, but let's wrap, and we'll show you AV consultations as we are headed on the way out, and all the cool stuff that they can do. So thanks to AV Consultations, who you're about to hear from, and all of our other great partners. We will be back tomorrow for that Thursday show with Brian Jones at the 30-minute mark. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and getting your notifications. This is Orange Bloods Live. Take care. See ya.
This is The Kid with Audiovisual Consultations.
And I'm Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations.
And we wanted to prepare you for another incredible season of sports. Football is upon us.
And hockey season is upon us too.
And everyone here at ABC wants to make you feel like the real winner, even if your team doesn't make it to the playoffs.
Well, I know you're not talking about the Stars, so you must be talking about your Bruins. You're going down this year, kid. It's a numbers game. Just check the stats.
Well, why not check ours? ABC has been servicing homes and businesses with surveillance, sound, and visual setups for almost 40 years, and we've never come in second place.
That's right, kid.
If you want to ensure a win this season, call Audiovisual Consultations. We've got a roster of cool stuff, and we're ready to play.
Just give us a call at 512-255-8678. That's 512-255-8678.
Even if your team doesn't take home the cup this season, remember to hug your kids, laugh with strangers, and make love to whoever the hell you want. That's 512-255-8678.